Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Sõdurilehe podcast. My name is Sergeant Papsi, and as you can hear, I'm speaking in English today, and that is for a very good reason, because for today's episode we are joined by our allies and friends from France. Sitting with me today is Lieutenant Colonel Rafael Chavez. Thanks for coming to the show, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule, and thanks for being an ally.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's really a pleasure and an honor for me to be there today with you.
Could you talk more about your role and responsibilities in this duty?
Of course. So here in Estonia, I'm the French Senior National Representative, which means that I'm responsible for all the French troops that are deployed in Estonia. Not only the French contingent that is contributing to the NATO multinational battle group, but also the troops that are deployed as the light infantry company that is training and cooperating twice a year with the Estonian Defense League, and also when French troops are deployed during exercises, as it occurred during Hedgehog at the beginning of the year, or as it is occurring now with the exercise Picnic. So that is my French responsibility, my national responsibility. And then I have a second role, since I'm also the Deputy Commander Cabrit. So this is more the NATO responsibility. So as I already said, the UK is providing the FLF Forward Land Forces battle group, and UK is the framework nation, and we are contributing to this mission. And it makes sense that we have the UK leading with the commander that comes from UK, and French contributing with the deputy commander that is French. So these are my two main roles. May I have maybe had a third role, since also as a French Senior National Representative, I have also direct contact with my Estonian counterparts. We have some French also embedded within Estonian forces, a few ones, which means that I'm also responsible for them and have a direct talk with the Estonian forces here in Estonia. So it's not only two roles, it's three main roles here in Estonia.
A man of great importance and that many responsibilities, which makes it all the more happier for the chance to sit down with you today. And for the viewers, this will be a two-part episode. The first of which you're watching now is a general chat about the French contingent and activities in Estonia. And for the second part of the video, we're going to join their troops in the field, actually, for one of the exercises. So it's going to be very exciting. Stay tuned for that. And also what we've heard is that it's the first time that a member or a representative of the French contingent is doing a podcast such as this. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I can explain why, but I think I'm very lucky to be the first one to have this talk with you.
Let's dig in. Could you explain the main mission of the French contingent as part of the NATO's Enhanced Forward mission here in Estonia?
So at the end, our mission is quite simple here. We are providing support to an ally. This support is the contribution to the multinational battle group, strengthening NATO's defensive and deterrent posture on the eastern flank. I think that to understand this mission and this contribution, we should have maybe a little bit of historical context, since it all began with the Warsaw Summit 2016, where it was decided between the chief of states and governments of allied nations to reinforce the defensive posture and deterrence posture of the alliance. This is really a change of context. We had this first evolution after 2014, and then in 2020 it was much more needed to have this defensive and deterrent posture. And France, as an ally, is of course couldn't do otherwise than provide, because this is the solidarity of the alliance. It's how it works. So this is really our main mission here. We are here to provide the support within NATO. Talking about the army, the land forces, which I'm responsible for, but I think it's also interesting to notice that we had also other contribution with the Navy, with the Air Force, and at the end the oldest mission here for France with the Baltic state were the enhanced air policy, which was Baltic air policing in 2004, which we were already contributing. So this posture is an old one. That's not only after the events that occurred mid 2010, 2014, and then 2022. It's an old contribution to support and to the global security on the eastern flank.
We are eternally grateful for the long-standing partnership and continued solidarity. That's very cool that you actually brought it up, that all the way back in 2004, when was the exact year that Estonia joined NATO. Then France was already one of the first ones to contribute and in a way welcome us to the alliance. So that's very cool. What kind of capabilities does the French contingent bring to the battle group nowadays?
So it's very interesting because so we provide a joint tactical subgroup. I need to explain a little bit what does that mean. So within the battle group, we have several companies provided by the United Kingdom. Infantry, we have an artillery battery, engineers, and we have the French contribution that is not only infantry, but it is mixed with all the capabilities from armed forces. So we have infantry, anti-tank, cavalry, armored, so light tanks with wheels, engineers, and also a capacity to guide artillery fires with a small team. And all of this is a joint tactical subgroup.
Obviously, it takes a lot of practice for the interoperability, which you mentioned. So can you talk about how the cooperation between the French troops and Estonian troops has developed over the years, and what have you noticed about it?
So I think that we have improved more and more with the different rotation here in Estonia, because we are doing exercises together, main exercises. So the challenge is important because it's not only training with the Estonian, it's training with the Estonian within a UK battle group. And we would train together during major exercise, such as the Spring Storm exercise, that was called Hedgehog this year. And these major exercises allows us to improve our interoperability. We also developed our procedures so that we fit and within the battle group, and we are also learning a lot during this training. So that's for the battle group part. We learn also a lot about the way the Estonian forces take the lessons learned from Ukraine and apply it directly here in Estonia. I've seen that, especially for instance, with the use of the UAVs. I was quite impressed when I saw how deep the Estonian forces went regarding the UAV threat and how they trained the soldiers. Just to provide an example, you go really far into taking these lessons learned, and this is something we take because we also want to improve on these topics. It's really interesting. second topic maybe will be the survivability and all the work that is done about trenches, combat in the trenches, the setting of all these obstacles, all the work that you've done here is something we are also doing in France. Seeing it here, how you do it, how fast, how you set the trenches, and then how you train here. It's really interesting, and we learn a lot. We bring it back in France, and we improve our procedures thanks to you. And I hope that at the same time we provide something to the Estonian when we come here, because that's the aim. When I was talking about the light infantry company, that's the aim of this deployment. So we increase the operational capacities of each other by training together.
What are other aspects of being deployed in Estonia that may surprise your troops, or what are their like general first impressions? Is the climate different enough to a point where it takes some adaptations, or how is it with getting used to the terrain?
So there is indeed a climate and a terrain challenge for our troops. So since I've been deployed here for 3 months, I've only known the best part. The summer period, it was quite okay, a little bit rainy, but it was really okay. But I know that winter are really cold and much colder than in France. That's a first challenge. So to get used and to train in a cold environment, we have some specific troops that are used to do it. These are the mounted troops. And the mounted troops are one of the units that are providing the light infantry. So we have either paratroopers or mounted troops. But for the other rotation, it's always a challenge, and they learn a lot to train during winter time, and especially with the so-called exercise winter camp. So that's the first challenge, and the terrain also is a challenge. So we've seen and on the first exercises, I've seen directly the challenge it poses with the swamps, and we are not used at such a terrain where you have to be really careful with your vehicles not to go too far out of the roads or the routes, because you can be stuck into the swamp. So you have these highly mobile vehicles, but in France we are used to go straight, and since we are not so much such a terrain with swamps, it's okay. And then they have to take into account this terrain, change the reflex. So that was really the first exercise. I saw it was the challenge, and then they improved. So they learned, and they learned that they have to do it differently. Since we were talking about the climate and how different it was, so I brought some picture I would like to show, because for me it's really how we can show and how we see Estonian training here and how different it is. So they had to do an offensive and to go through a defensive position, and they choose to take some different path going through the river to avoid the defensive positions. And this is also something that is related to the mindset. I think that it's not only getting used to the climate, it's not only related to the procedures, the equipments, but it's also the mindset that the soldiers get used to this strong climate, and how they can go further into this difficult environment. It's quite different from what we were used to in France, because we've been deployed a lot in Africa, and the climate, it's totally different. It's a big challenge, but it's important, since as I said, the the context and the security environment has changed, and we have to learn to be able to fight in the European environment, which is much colder, and especially here in Estonia than in Africa.
Mm-hmm. The picture you just showed us reminded me of my first couple of months in my conscription. So yeah, it was a nice reminder that maybe I've started taking the nice summer weather for granted, but I will be seeing more of this towards the coming months. And yeah, to imagine the challenges of somebody coming from a very nice Mediterranean climate and having to deal with this, it raises the respect level I have for the soldiers that are willing to and are putting up with it even more. So that's really cool. But I want to get your personal take. How do you explain to people back home why this mission matters? What do you say to them?
So I think that being here makes me, and for all French soldiers, it will be, I'm confident, the same, an ambassador about Estonia. You have to look at the history and then just explaining the history of Estonia, and you compare it to the history of France and you say, look, how long time Estonia has been independent, and compare it to France. And you can understand how an Estonian people can feel looking at the small time they could experience autonomy, independence, and all the time that Estonia was occupied. This is something that that everyone can understand, but we understand it much more when we are deployed here and discussing with our Estonian counterparts. It makes it much more real, and that's why I think coming back to France will be ambassador of the way that the Estonians are feeling and having this so the relations with the importance of the defensive posture in the country.
But in your view then, what message does the presence of French troops in Estonia send to both allies and potential adversaries?
I think that our presence here is the message of the solidarity, is that the commitment and the credibility of the Article 5 is real. That's not only a political message. I mean, discussion being here is the concrete representation of this commitment. It means that if, and I hope not, but if Article 5 is used, then our troops are already here and we are ready to send it on short notice. And I would also like to stress that we do some exercise, and this is the, so I talked about the exercise PICNE, and PICNE is such an exercise with high reactivity deployment within Estonia to show that we will be able in 24 hours to provide troops in Estonia. So it was already done last year in December 2024. It was the first PICNE exercise with a quick deployment of paratroopers within Estonia to react to an aggression in the scenario. And this is exactly the message we are providing. The credibility of the troops here is their commitment, their training with our counterparts, with the Estonians, with the UK, but also our ability to deploy on short notice in the territory, which means that if it has to be done, it will be done. We are already here and we are able to provide these troops. And what I noticed also during my short time here, I said it was 3 months, but people here are grateful. I remember being invited in a festival this summer. This was in July, if I remember well. It was the Kikumu festival, and we had some special invitation for the NATO troops and the French troops at this festival. It was really a personal initiative from the organizer. So we went through it with all the French troops that were not taken by training. And I personally went there. We were in military dress, and it was impressive to see that people were grateful. They were coming to us and saying, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking part into the defense of our country. This is something that makes that is heartwarming, and maybe we are not so used to have it, but here it was spontaneous. People from Estonia coming here, thanking us just because they've seen, okay, there are military dress, French, and okay, thanks for being here. It was really, really heartwarming to live that.
I'm very happy to hear that you got such a nice and obviously very well-deserved welcome or just greetings. So for the last question of today, before we wrap it up and head over to the fields, what would you personally take away from this mission and this deployment once your tenure is over?
So I will personally take three points. First of all, on the military side, what I've seen and what I was really impressed about the Estonian troops is their reactivity and the level of expertise they have during the training. But the reactivity was really a point I had, and so I had this discussion with the commander of the Regional Command North, explaining me that in 24 hours he had these trainings, the SNAPEX, and the people, the troops gather, and in 24 hours, 36 hours, but 24 hours, they were all able to go out and join their position. This is something that really impressed me, and this is something I take from my deployment. The second one is maybe at the defense level, a little bit higher, much more on the Paul Mill level. It's the global defense spirit, that the defense in Estonia is not only thought with the army, but involves all the society. I'm really impressed about the system, or really interested into the way you have this combination between the EDF, the EDL, the fact that the defense is set in the constitution of Estonia, and that everyone in the society will be involved into the defense of the country. That is something, this spirit that I would like and I will bring back home. And then, of course, there is the personal history of my deployment here. And I think I was really lucky to be there during this period of summer, because I've experienced some unique moments. So I had the opportunity to go, it was really at the beginning, at the Victory Day in Pärnu, seeing the military parade, then experiencing the Song and Dance Festival here in Tallinn. That's quite a unique moment, living the restoration of independence and being able to meet the president of Estonia, have a little chat, and then hopefully meeting him again on the 13th of September. He should come on our exercise, and we will have the opportunity to show him some firing with a helicopter. And for me, it's really a unique chance to have this possibility to be with the Estonian president twice during my mandate. I've also experienced the beatification of Eduard Profitlich, a few weeks ago, which was a major event, and all these events, I think this is something I will remind from my mission, out of the military defense aspects, but also all the opportunities I had here in Estonia during this time. This is something I will take away in France.
Lieutenant Colonel Chavez, I'm very happy that I got to meet you today, and thanks for the great chat.
Thank you very much. Thanks. I had a lot of pleasure today.
And we will pick up the action from the fields. Hello and welcome back. It's the last day of September, and us and many other people have gathered in a beach in northern Estonia to be a part of something historic. Because, as you can see, military helicopters, and many of them are already flying laps around us. And we're going to witness the French troops hosting military shootings from helicopters using missiles never shot by them on Estonian soil before. We've heard that Estonian President Alar Karis is going to be brought into attendance in one of the helicopters. So let's get close to the action. It's already warm and sunny, but it's about to get even hotter, and let's see what's about to go down. Hello, can you quickly introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, so I'm Captain Thibault from the 1st Artillery Regiment in France, and I'm deployed here in Tapa for 4 months.
Can you tell us about what are all those people here for? What are they come to see? We see some helicopters doing overhead, so
there will be live fire from the helicopters. So we've got like 3 Tigers and 3 NH-90 Caiman coming. So it's attack helicopters and transport helicopters, and they will come to do a live fire just in the sea in front of you. There will be some Hellfire, some 7.62 fires, and also guns. So it's a big event with a lot of ammunition firing.
And as for your part for putting up this big of a organization, what is your duty in all of this?
For this event, we are responsible for ground lasing the Hellfire. So in fact we have a laser designator. It will be set on a target in the sea, and the Hellfire will manage its way through our designation. So we have a quite important role, because if we don't put the laser on properly, it will go in the sea and not in the target.
And what would success look like for you today in this operation?
Success will be a direct hit on the target, and if we manage to strike all the targets successfully.
Can you talk a little bit more about the equipment and the helicopters that are used today? What are the main purposes of the equipment? Specifically, Hellfire is what we are interested in the most.
Yeah, so the Hellfire is basically an anti-tank or anti-personnel missile. It's guided, it's laser guided, so it can be guided from the ground in what is going to happen, or it can be also laser guided from the helicopter. And very, very precise. It has 8 kilometers range. So it's a very powerful weapon and very precise weapon, and quite expensive also.
Well, I can imagine that, but the more I'm crossing my fingers for everything to go all right.
Yeah, it will be all right. No worries. The laser is precise and the missile is precise, so I have no worries about that.
So I wish you luck, and I'll catch back up with you after everything's over.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm back here with my new friend, Captain Thibault. So, first impressions, how did it go?
Very well. So from our part, the Hellfire it was really good. It was on target. So the target just exploded as intended. And for the other targets, the rockets and guns were very precise. So the third target is destroyed, and there is just like maybe one target remaining. It was the target for the 7.62. It's less precise, so it's quite of normal. So that was, I think, a good event, and mission is successful.
Just for the viewers, it will be interesting to know that from our point of view here, without any commentary on what's going on, it was a bit vague to follow. We heard some attacks, but just could you talk about the organization part? Or we see one of the targets that you were aiming for, and there were more targets. So how do you kind of track the results and all of that?
Yeah, so in fact we have communication between us, the helicopters, and the ground and everywhere happening place. And so there is 3 targets, one close, one in the middle, and one very far away. And so the first shoot you were seeing was the Hellfire. So it was on the second target. So it was precise. So direct hits. After the Tigers, so the attack helicopters, they came forward to strike with the rockets and guns the third target, so far away. And in the end, there was the Caiman, so it's the big helicopters, who did a gun pass on the closest target. So it was schedules like that, and in this way we managed to destroy all the targets roughly in 5 to 10 minutes time.
And we heard that some VIPs were also brought in attendance today, marking the importance of this event.
Yes, so the Estonian president was inside Caiman. So the Caiman went to Tallinn to take the president and come back here for him to see the shootings. So I hope he enjoyed it.
So he was actually inside the helicopter where shots were shot.
He was inside, so he could see all the shootings as a first viewer, and I hope he had a really good view.
That's really cool for him, I imagine. And also, what's another important historical aspect is it the first time that Hellfire missiles are shot on Estonia, or is it a false fact from me?
For the French one, I'm pretty sure yes. So I don't know if there is another nation firing. We had already fired Hellfires, but I'm not really sure. So yes, I think it's the first time, and that was a perfect hit. So that means it's a good mission.
Bringing it into context of the Pykne exercise at large, does it, for you personally, does it today's events mark the end of the exercise, or is it something else coming? And what have you done prior to today as part of the Pykne exercise?
Yeah, I think it's it marks the end, because last week we were doing some training with the French forces in Saaremaa, so in the west of Estonia. We fought. We battled against the Estonian Defense League, and then now we are doing the live fires to finish the exercise. So we had the Pykne was good because we did a tactical exercise and a technical exercise here. So this was the technical part, and last week was the tactical part, doing some training, and we had also the Tigers on the same station. So we could talk to the Tigers to doing exactly the same thing as here, but with simulated munitions, of course.
From the different aspects or subgroups of the French contingent, have you heard feedback from how Pykne has went for them, and has it been a successful experience? Has it been a possibility for you to also improve the interoperability with the Estonian forces, or have you mostly just been focused on your own stuff and played war against Estonian counterparts?
Yeah, I think for the low units, we only fought against Estonians. We weren't involved in cooperation with Estonians, but it was very interesting and instructive to see how they are fighting, their way of fighting, and I think for Estonian guys it would be the same, to compare their tactics to the French tactics. It can only be very useful for everybody. So yeah, I think it was a good thing to see the discretion and of the Estonian guys. I was impressed.
And in general, what will you take away from your mission in Estonia after this is over? What have been your impressions?
I think it's a very good mission, because you can train maybe easily. You have a lot of access to a lot of training place. In Tapa we have a CTA, so we have a big training area. We can do some live fires, also helicopters or live fires, so we have a lot of possibility. And in this place is very good opportunities, I think. And also the terrain is very different as France. You've got a lot of forests, a lot of marshes, and so this is very interesting to work and very instructive.
What are your free time opportunities? What do you get to do? Do you play sports? Are you happy with the food? Do you keep in touch with your family? How is life organized in that way?
Yeah, so we have usually in the usual week we have 1 day and a half, the Sunday and the Saturday we can move a bit. So sometimes we can go and visit the big cities of Estonia. So this is very interesting to go to Tallinn and other places. And I like also doing sports every day. We have at least 2 hours of sport. It can be either running or musculation and everything, fitness. And so I think it's very important as soldiers to do like at least 2 hours of sports to maintain a kind of schedule in the week.
Thanks a lot for your service, as I'm sure you've heard a million times, but I'm serious about this one. It's really nice to have your support here, and best of luck in the rest of your mission.
Yeah, thanks a lot. See you.
So that concludes our episode in partnership with the French delegation in Estonia. We got to meet a lot of cool people as a part of making this video. You got to meet them as well. I'm sure you saw how important of a job they're doing. It was really impressive to see the shootings today, and I will definitely remember it for a long time. And hopefully I will be seeing you soon on the channel for the next episodes. I've been your host, Sergeant Paapsi, and I'll see you soon.